Welcome back to another semester at EVTV. I'm Sam.
And I'm Zosha.
This week, we bring you a special report on climate change, but not the climate outside, the climate within our school walls. The start of this semester marked the start of a bunch of new rules and regulations, as well as stricter versions of old rules. For a look at the new phone rules, we go to Sam, Otto, Emmett, and Emmanuel.
We've always had that policy in place, and teachers, seem to feel good about it. But this year, we saw a lot more of students refusing to put it away, and so we realized we had to get more serious about it.
Since the start of second semester, EVHS has put in place a variety of new policies. One of them has restricted phone usage greatly and made phones no longer allowed in classrooms.
It's actually not an entirely new policy. We sort of went back to the policy that we had in the student handbook. We got together as a staff and basically made a community agreement that we all agreed to and signed of really enforcing the policy that we already had.
With the quarantine caused by COVID-19 about 2 years ago, students were able to use their phones whenever they wanted. This caused everyone to be much more reliant on their phone.
It helps me communicate very easily with everyone and helps me make plans really easily.
With COVID, it seems that kids got used to using their smartphones whenever they wanted. And as we transition back into school full time, that behavior, it didn't break. I noticed in my classroom, and other teachers noticed it too, that smartphone usage was going up significantly.
You get that Snapchat notification, you got to check it right away, or how dependent people are, they can out of habit just reach into their pocket, pull their phone out.
The phone policy has also been introduced to prevent students from using social media in harmful ways.
When I first saw it, I thought it was humorous, but then after it just kept on going on, it became problematic.
It's just really unfortunate that kids are, sort of hiding behind a social media page to be mean and bully other students.
A couple of the pages just seem weird and excessive to me, and they don't make it as fun of a place to be around because you feel like people are going to see a photo on social media and then judge you in person or something like that.
I found it humorous, but when it's on Instagram, a lot of other people see it, and then it's just it's kind of embarrassing in a way.
When we're using something Instagram or other social media posts to really cause pain in other people's lives, it's really just, at the end of the day, troubling. And I know it's a reason why this new cell phone policy came into place, because cell phones were becoming much more than just a distraction. They were becoming an issue in some cases.
What I'm really hoping is that we start to find a balance with things, because I feel like that's where we always were with the phone policy. This was the first year that we really have seen as big of a problem with it. We've always been a school of really trusting our students to do the right thing and kind of been a little bit more laid back about things because we've been able to. And this year we just have seen that we needed to tighten it up for a while. So I'm hoping we can eventually find that balance, and I don't know when that will be.
There are a lot of rumors about the new common space rules. To clear the air, we go to Jordan, Langston, and Jack.
When EVHS renovated back in 2018, students and staff alike welcomed the addition of collaborative spaces. Not only are they visually appealing, but they've also proven to have many functions throughout the years.
I like how they look. I like how they make the building feel more open. And I do like their intended purpose, which is a place to either collaborate, as in their names, or actually to work individually and get some stuff done.
For a lot of students, the common space acted as a space where they could really focus on what their group was doing, as opposed to the other 5 groups of people chatting. And so for folks who had a harder time concentrating, that was a good way for them to be able to still have the collaborative experience without the distractions.
I use this space basically to just come here and be alone a little bit, do work, catch up on things, just sit down, get my mind away from school.
It was a good opportunity for kids to be able to spread out and have some space to be able to hear each other and communicate their ideas.
As we jump back into full-time, in-person learning last semester, we began to see collab spaces not being used for what they were initially intended for.
Towards the end of first semester, and pretty much throughout the semester, we just lost control of people using our building appropriately. Whether it was TikTok challenges, Instagram pages dedicated to bathrooms and taking pictures there, actual bad things happening in our building that weren't being supervised. So I would say the challenge became supervision of places like collaborative spaces and hallways.
EVHS administration has created new policies this semester in an attempt to limit these types of disruptions. However, miscommunication between students and staff has left many confused about their access to these spaces.
I think I know what it is, and I think it's like you can't be around in this common area. You have to either be in the lunch area or somewhere else but here.
Well, I know that you're not allowed to be in the common spaces even if you have an off period, and that's pretty much all I know.
From what I understand, the new policy is that we can't sit in the common space while class is going on, and people in off periods can't even go sit.
We are asking students during lunch hour to not use the collaborative spaces, because typically that's gotten too loud, too noisy, too messy. So if there's one time of the day when we tell kids to go to the cafeteria, not stay in the collaborative spaces, it's during lunch. I would say the other biggest thing has been actually we've told teachers not to use the collaborative spaces. So you haven't seen garage doors open, you haven't seen teachers sending students out into those spaces. That's probably been the biggest difference. It's not actually our off-period students, it's students that should have been in classes that were in collaborative spaces.
With all these changes occurring across the school, it is important to remember just why they are taking place.
It's been about reestablishing and renorming the idea that being here during school is about learning. And so if we can protect and maintain that learning is happening, that's our priority. And my observation has been, it's been far less chaotic, much more, calm. And if that meant that we had to be purposeful about some things, then I'm fine with it.
This has been Langston, Jordan, and Jack.
Passing periods have been a hot topic this semester. For more, we go to Franco, Kim, Braden, and Tori for a 2-minute segment about 5-minute passing periods.
This semester, new policies were introduced, one of them being a limitation on how many e-hall passes you can use. We wanted to know, can you really use the bathroom and get to class on time? This is what people had to say.
I've been told by many teachers to go to the bathroom during passing periods and not go during class time because that's like disrupting class. But when I do go to the bathroom and I'm late, I get in even more trouble, so I'm never really sure what I should do.
So a very common thing is that I'd like to just go and get water from the fountain. And I get to class, drop off my stuff, or on the way to class I try to get water, but there's so many people trying to get water or go into the bathroom that you'd be waiting there for the whole 2-3 minutes, and then even then there's still people behind you, so you don't want to take a while whatever you're doing.
It's definitely not fair for girls, and I personally have struggled with that, but it's definitely not fair because it shouldn't just be 2 and it shouldn't be limited to 2. And as a girl you shouldn't have to explain to your teacher why you have to go more than twice a day and make it embarrassing.
After listening to what these people had to say, we decided, we should experiment on our own. So we gathered 4 different people, followed them around with a camera, and this is what happened. It's possible, but it's difficult. This has been Franco, Kim, Tori, and Braden.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of EVTV. See you next week.